Using a single prompt, I was able to build this Claude artifact, and it's totally usable, totally clickable. You could share it. There's a link up top that you can copy. You can share it with anyone. You can use it for yourself. You could build artifacts for other people. So if you are a coach, consultant, freelancer, or anyone who seeks to adopt AI into their presence, then this video is for you. Stick around because I'm going to show you 3 other example artifacts that you can build for yourself as tools or as something that you can share with someone else. So let's get started. So just to get started on what artifacts are, think of them as basically like kind of like small web apps, mini web apps, or tools that you could use that you could build for yourself. And they're also shareable, which is pretty cool, as well as you can just keep building with them. Like you can edit them, you can easily add stuff, you could take stuff away. It just all depends on what you put into the prompt. And most people, they just use Claude as like a search engine or some kind of simple chat bot, and they have no idea that you can build any of these type of tools that are usable pretty much any single, every single day, anytime you want to use them. And they're really, really helpful. And basically, the limits are endless on what you could do with artifacts. And what's neat also with the artifacts is that's basically like a live build panel. You could build out the artifact, you can change it. You see it on the right hand side. You can refine it. And there's so much you can do with them, and they're just tools to be able to add to your repertoire of the different things that you can do online. So you could start with like a basic prompt like this, like you see on screen here, and you can prompt Claude in the artifact builder, and it will literally just build out the artifact right then and there within a few minutes, usually, not even sometimes. And then, you could go on and you can keep adding to it. Like I was saying earlier, you could refine it. You can change the font. You could change the background color. You could change what it says. You could change a whole ton of different things. And then what's also cool is you could share it with people. You could also use it as like an online tool. So you no longer have to spend like all this time building out websites and building out landing pages and all that type of thing. And it's basically built for anyone. I mean, anyone can use it. You can use whatever you want. You could use a landing page for a million different things. You could build out dashboard just as an example. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the chat side of it and click on artifacts, which is how this comes up. And by the way, I'm using the Claude desktop app. You can also do this on the website itself through the chat. So then I'm going to come up here on the right-hand side and click Create Chat Artifact. And you can choose any of these if you want, a quiz survey, documents, websites, productivity. I'm going to do start from scratch and actually have a prompt already copied into the clipboard that I'm going to use for this. So when it gives me these questions, I'm going to go ahead and answer the questions here before I put in this prompt. I'm going to give it a second here because it's loading up. So it's asking me what kind of task is this, and it's giving me the different options. Strategy planning, build something else. So what I'll do is I'll click on, for the heck of it, I'll click on build something, and then I'll click let's go, see what it says. Okay, so work artifact, N8N Canva design. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and paste in the prompt here that I have that says, build me a professional website, client onboarding form and I'll put in for a lead generation business. And by the way, you can change your model here depending on what you want to use. Opus 4.8 is the current highest since the other one is banned as of now. I've been using Sonnet. You can do medium, high, low. Right here, you can change it. Just know that the higher you put it, the more tokens you're going to use up, and the quicker your sessions are going to get used up. So what I did was I added down here at the bottom, make it look clean and trustworthy, light beige background, navy and gold accents, rounded inputs. So that gives us some kind of styling at least. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and send that off, and I will be back to show you what it came up with. And also I'll show you how to make edits to it. So this is what it actually came up with. It tells you everything here. It tells you what it put in there. It also gives you these things that you could customize. It gives you these little examples, kind of like as follow-up. So I'll go ahead and click on it so you can see it. And right here you can change between, that's the actual HTML code, and this is what it looks like displayed. And you can see here it used my YouTube channel name. There's just these little icons, which I'll show you in a second here how you could change that. It's totally usable. What you would do is you would click publish and grab the link. I'm going to go ahead and tell it really quick to change the icons to match whatever the corresponding sections are that the icons are displayed. So change icons to match whatever the corresponding sections are. And I'll go ahead and send that off, and then I'll see what it comes up with here in a second. All right, so as you can see here, it's finished. It added in these icons. I had to edit it another time. And what it did was it put in the gold, this gold like accented. So it kind of gives it a better look than just having like a black little icon with nothing on it. And it corresponds, basically with what it says here. Timeline, it's got the little calendar. So you got to get the idea. So this would be able to be published. What you would do is you would click publish, copy link, and then you would go into like a web. I'll just show you here real quick. I'll paste it in. Go to a web browser, and what it does is it displays this way. And again, you can click customize here at the top right, and it'll bring you back into your Claude account, and then you can edit it as needed. There's more ways of using these. You could, like, for something like this, you would edit it to where actually when somebody submits something, so like if I just type in something simple here, I'll click time zone. I'll just type in some letters in every one. I'll click cold outreach, and I'll go through the whole thing here. I'll type in something in each field, industry, and when I come back here to the bottom, it will actually go into the second page after I hit submit onboarding form, and there it is. So you're all set. So what that is you could set it up to be, it'll put the data into like a backend, like a Google Sheet or an Excel file or something, and it'll be an actual working form. So you could actually use it in real life. So right now I'll just go ahead and I'll move into the next one, and I'll show you something else that you can build with these artifacts. So the next one I'm going to build is going to be a freelance pricing calculator. So what I'll do is I'll go back into the same way I did before. I showed you chat, and then click artifacts. I'll click new artifact, create chat artifact, and then I'll do start from scratch. And it's going to ask me, just like before, it's going to ask me the questions. What are we building today? And then what I'll do is I'll put something else. Actually, what I could do is skip this, and I'm going to just chat directly. I'll put in the prompt right here. Build me an interactive pricing calculator for a freelance copywriter. And these are all the details. It'll have clean design, dark background, white text. And I'm going to go ahead and send that off, and I will be back to show you what it built. And it is finished, and this is what it came up with. And it actually has these different settings that you can actually change if need be. So I'll give you a show right here. So like if you put on this toggle here, revision rounds included, it'll add 25% of the total. So like I chose website copy, 2 deliverables 1 week, and then you would hit calculate price, and this would give you a price. And of course you would change this as needed if this was something that you were actually using. And you could publish it too, publish and copy link. And I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like in practice. Again, things can be changed. You could change the font on this. You can change the background. You can make it look however you want. You can add in different project types. You could take this away. You could leave this, or you could change even adds 1 to 5 rounds of edits per deliverable, just as an example. So I think it's pretty neat. It kind of will help. So like if your social media content, let's say 3 deliverables timeline, I'll just put 1 week. And by the way, my idea would be like you could put days or weeks in here, so you could change this to have it as many days or actual weeks as well. I'll hit calculate price, and this is the price it would give you if you were doing something like this, depending on what your prices are, obviously. So this could be a useful tool for someone that wants to build like some kind of an artifact like this that you could have published and then you could use it as needed. So it would save you a lot of time. Alrighty, I'll move on to the next artifact I'm going to build and show you what that is. All right, the next one I'm going to build is going to be a content generator. So someone could use this, daily, weekly, monthly, however they want, and they could change it to generate as many pieces of content as they want. And ideally, you would want it to be in your own voice. So you could create a whole nother project or prompt or something to run whatever the content is in your own voice. I'm back in here again on the chat. I clicked artifacts. I'll click create chat artifact. And what I will do is hit start from scratch. And I'm going to skip the question and I'll paste in the actual prompt here. So app or tool. Actually, what I could do is, let me try that this time. I'll click app or tool and see what it does. So it's working. Let's nail down what you're building. What does this app do? This one is content creation. Go ahead and say, and right here, see, you could see it's something else, both my clients and community or just me. For now, I'll click just me. One more that says got it. One more question to zero this in. Turn one idea into post for multiple platforms. So this is actually generate content. So repurpose long form into short clips. So what I'll do for this one is I'll click generate content ideas from a topic or niche. So it gives you the plan here. Yep, 8 to 10 content ideas. Does that match what you had in mind? You can just hit yes. You could also tweak it if you want, and ask you here if you want to tweak anything before I build it. Click yes. So what I'll do is, just to see, I'll put in the prompt just to make sure, LinkedIn, Instagram, that I'm trying to make sure it lines up with what I want. Build me an interactive content idea generator. Should have a text field when I click generate. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the same. So I'll go ahead and click yes. And I'll go ahead and send that off. And I will be back to show you what it built. So as you can see, it built a very basic content idea generator. You can change this. So everything is just black and white here, white background. You would click generate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make changes to it, and I'm going to paste in this prompt. So what I'll do is I'll put in changes to make. I'll say change the font accent colors to gold and green. And then I'll say make the background match the font colors. All right, let me fix my spelling here, and I'll go ahead and I'll send this off, and I will be back to show you the result. All right, so now that it's done, it actually put what it did here. It changed the background, it gave the colors that I put in. Cards alternate gold and green left border, so it's easy to scan at a glance. And this is what it actually looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you the version that I put up. I copied the link, and I'm just going to see what it'll give me back with the ideas here. I'll put in how to stay productive on weekends for solopreneurs. And then I'll go ahead and generate. And as you can see, it's generating here, and it's using the colors. It's got the gold and green. This is still kind of basic. It's just a quick tool that anybody can build. And then again, you can save it in your browser, and then you just come back to it. So you need content ideas. See right here, it gives you the ideas. You can copy it, and then you can add that into like a prompt or something to get even more ideas. A little bit more detailed is what I mean. So like right here, the 2-hour weekend block that replaced my entire Monday morning. So like you could use this for like a YouTube video, for example. It'll even put the tags, which is pretty cool, and then you click copy and then copy it. So any of these tools that I showed, you could use them for just an unlimited amount of things. This is what you would do. These are the type of words that you would use for for putting in the different design ideas that you have or what it could build you, calculators like I showed you, forms, trackers, dashboards like I mentioned earlier. This is a good tip here. End every build prompt with a design note. So like I showed you, instead of having to go back in and editing later, you could put that into the original idea or prompt, and it'll show you, it'll build it out exactly as you want it. It'll less time basically to create the tool is what that does. So this is basically how you would do it. The ending here, open Claude coworker chat, and then you would type this, and then on the right hand side, it'll give you the artifact. You saw what it did. And by the way, you could take the code. Let me go back into right here. You could take this code and you could make it into your own HTML. Or what you would do is you would just download it. And right here, it's just displayed on the right hand side as you saw. So what I'll do is I'll create HTML files out of each of the artifacts that I built, and I'll link them in the description, and I'll also link these slides in the description with the 3 prompts that I use. I'll add in a page at the end of this to have the 3 prompt templates. So hopefully this video gave you an idea of what you could do with Claude Artifacts. It's really, really helpful, I think. Anybody who's trying to create content, there's just a multitude of tools that you could use for yourself and save yourself a ton of time. So with that, I will end this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.